important plugins. Number one, the Studio EQ in slot 1. Number 2, the Reaper multiband compressor. Number 3, the Peak Master. Number 4, the leveler. Right at the bottom here, we are going to use internal dither, and I don't particularly mind which shaping you use at all, as long as we're just putting on some dither, internal dither. Now, in your exam, you are expected to explain why we have these 4 plugins and why are they in this order in particular. Well, the EQ, because we would like to even out frequencies, especially if you've been mastering more than one track, you need to, and you've done them over days, you have to even out frequencies from track to track. This, pressing the square, calls up the actual plugin, and in this case I've just called up the multiband. I just would like to get some audio. Okay, this is what's important to know. The multiband has 4 bands, 1, band 2, band 3, band 4. You can see as I'm choosing the bands, the thresholds are lighting up at the top. On each one, please take up, off, auto, make up, gain. It's very important. I can't stand, never mind, auto make up gain doesn't work. I'm going to put the gains up a little bit. I'm just going to put them up a little bit. So we've got something to play with. This, the red, is the threshold. So I'm going to alter the thresholds a little bit. And I'm going to play the song. The green is the input level, and that yellow between the green is the gain reduction. Notice if I take the threshold above the audio, there's no gain reduction. Notice if I bring it down, notice the gain reduction increases. Here you can see the ratio, so I can make a higher ratio, a lesser ratio. With the lesser ratio you can see there's no gain reduction. But as I take the ratio up, there you see also gain reduction appears. Okay, so the blue is the makeup gain. Let me show you. There you can see the makeup gain on 3 going up and down. The yellow is the gain reduction. The green is the input level. The red is the threshold. Now, next we have the Peak Master. The Peak Master must be set the output ceiling to -0.3. And that is because the world's zeros are not all zero. There's many different manufacturing and replication plants. Then everything of yours that's at 0 is going to clip and cause little tiny, sounds like little static clicks all over your audio master. Okay, so you must set this to -0.3, the output ceiling. Here now is my favorite thing. The leveler. There is a very good article on Are You Connected about why we need a leveler. It's the Fletcher-Munson curve problem, where we don't hear frequencies the same at different levels. As audio gets louder, we hear more and more bass. Because when we start off, when music's very soft, we hear very little bass. We hear largely mid-range frequencies. The multiband compressor over here, which we are going to use, and we must use when we master a song, is going to bring the average RMS, which is the level of our song, up by at least 6 decibels. At least 6 decibels. This means that as we work on that multiband compressor and the song gets louder, we're going to hear more bass, so therefore we can't work accurately because we're going to be fooled by our own ears. So you need to start off with your multiband, do initial settings on the multiband, then you put on the leveler, and it will be setting up here at there. It's got a stereo link on the levels. It's going to sit up here to about 0. Play your track. So let's just get our track into view. We're going to play the track, and what we want to do at the very bottom here, render, is a green button. This green switch that takes all the plugins off of the audio. So we're going to compare the audio as it comes to us from Cubase, Virgin-like audio, with the leveler and the multiband and the Studio EQ on it at the same time. And we're trying to get the level of this audio without the plugins to be the same as with the plugins. Because I've gone and set that multiband just now, as you can see, it's louder at the moment with the plugins on. So I'm going to listen, take off the plugins. I see it's now much softer. Put on the plugins, then I'm going to, with the plugins on, and also there for my leveler, I'm going to bring the level down, bring it down about 4-5 decibels. Then I'm going to go back and compare. I'm going to listen to the audio with the plugins on and the leveler also, and then with the plugins off. And I find it's still louder with the plugins on, so I'm going to move it down a bit. Then I listen again. And when I have it at exactly the same level, then I'm able to tell what have I done with this multiband, because a multiband, when we're busy bringing down thresholds of different frequency bands and we're putting on different makeup gains of frequency bands, we are understandably changing the frequency content. It's almost like big graphic EQ, but I don't want to say that because nobody was writing the exams that compression is about compressing frequencies. It's compressing decibels, levels, according to frequency bands. So because this is going to mess with the levels of different frequency bands, plus the fact that we do not hear frequencies and levels in a linear manner, means we need to put on the leveler to offset whatever level this puts on. We offset with that leveler so that we can hear the file at the same level as we were hearing it individually. Now we've finished. We like what we've done with the multiband. We are going to render it down to 16 bits for a CD, or to go and put on iTunes or wherever. We take off this leveler. We no longer need the leveler. It's only there for our hearing, so that our hearing can be accurate. We take off the leveler and then we render our file.